Well, brothers and sisters, this is a brief tribute to Professor John Murray. I can say I'm his theological grandson through the line of Dr. Richard Gaffin at Westminster. Dr. Gaffin was the theological grandson of Ned Stonehouse and John Murray. Dick Gaffin was an incredibly careful exegete and the most confessional man I think I've ever met in my life. The man, when he lectures, he talks confession, larger catechism, shorter catechism. He reminds me of Robert Raymond of Covenant Seminary in that respect. And he holds closely and dearly to he confesses his faith is what he does. I'm also John Murray's grandson through Bishop Theophilus Herder of Reformed Episcopal Seminary. Bishop Herder took his doctorate under John Murray. Let's talk about Murray, a brief tribute to him, not to exalt him or any man, but we have captains on the bridge who are worth listening to as we down on the deck are taken here and there. He was born in 1898 and he died in 1975. So he was a bit of a contemporary with my own biological grandparents on both sides, although they were born a little earlier, and 3 out of the 4 died later than this. John Murray was born in Bonar Bridge, Scotland. He was a Scottish-born Calvinist theologian who taught at Princeton Theological Seminary. And then he left and taught at Westminster Theological Seminary. And I hope we get some dates here. Murray was born in the Croft of Bodbia near Bonar Bridge in Sutherland County, Scotland. Following service in the British Army in the First War, during which he lost an eye, serving in the Black Watch Regiment. He studied at the University of Glasgow. I'll just tell a quick story here that passed down through the ranks, that the students who knew him, first of all, he was a God-fearing man. Didn't have to tell you that, he just exhibited it. The students could detect on their spiritual radar this God-fearing Scots Calvinist. The second thing, a little more like students, is Murray lost an eye in World War I, and they put a glass eye in. And you can even see it in his picture. One goes up, one kind of. There was a little joke that if you wanted to see emotion in Professor Murray, you looked in the glass eye. Of course, I wonder if he ever knew that was getting bulleted about. Anyways, after the war, he studied at the University of Glasgow. That was also a city of one of my great-grandparents, Glasgow. Following his acceptance as a theological student at the Free Presbyterian Church of Scotland, he pursued further studies at Princeton Theological Seminary under J. Gresham Machen and Gerhardus Voss. Interesting. So I guess that makes me kind of a great-grandson to both those men. I will be studying the professor and see what he's got. It's a great book, one of the greats. So he knows J. Gresham Machen at Princeton Seminary before Westminster's even a conception, and Gerhardus Voss, his famous biblical theology and his hermeneutic of looking at scriptures through redemptive historical lenses, and also Graham Voss's book that we read here to one of our grandchildren. One of the best children's books there is. That is some good work. Anyways, he breaks with the Free Presbyterian Church in 1930 over that church's handling of a discipline case at Chesley, Ontario congregation before the Lord's Day. I know he was up in Toronto. I don't know if this is the same place, but he was in Toronto. Still see the church in my mind in Toronto. It was a Free Presbyterian church when I was a kid. But Murray was up there as a visiting preacher in Toronto, and he took the streetcar to get to church from wherever he was temporarily lodging. And I guess he ran afoul of the Free Presbyterian elders for using a streetcar on the Lord's Day. Strict Sabbatarians. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the same one. And then lectured in systematic theology at Westminster Theological Seminary, my alma mater, to generations. That's an overstatement. 2 generations, I guess, of students from 1930 to 1966. So 36 years in the harness of academic work, and his 4 volumes is up here somewhere. He was an early trustee of the Banner of Truth Trust. And that has been a blessing in terms of their publications, old books that went out of print. Beside the material in the 4-volume collected writings, his primary published works are a commentary on the Epistle to the Romans, which we'll be working with. That was previously included in the New International Commentary set, but now has been superseded by Douglas Moe's commentary. And I think I got Moe down here. But I'm not sure how to compare Moe to Murray. We're going to work through Murray and stand alongside Grandpa Murray, I'm going to call him. His book, Redemption Accomplished and Applied, is an absolute must-read. It's economical, it's precise, it's spot on. It's a condensation into a small little short work that is a must-read for absolutely every seminarian of any stripe. You'll learn what a Reformed view of salvation is, redemption. Applied principles of conduct, the imputation of Adam's sin, baptism, that's a good book, and divorce. That's a good book too. Murray preached at Chesley and Lochlesh from time to time until his retirement from Westminster Seminary in 1966 at the age of 68. He returned to Scotland, where he was connected with the Free Church of Scotland, and at age 69 married Valerie Knowlton, 7 December 1967. I think they had a child. I hope they'll comment on that. She was a medical doctor. Writing after a communion season at Lochlesh, Murray said, I think I feel most at home here and at Chesley of all the places that I visit. There had been some consideration that upon leaving the seminary, Murray might take a pastorate in the newly formed Presbyterian Reformed Church. But the infirmity of his aged sisters at the home place necessitated his return to Rocher, Scotland. We briefly commented on his works, Christian Baptism, Divorce, Redemption Accomplished and Applied, Principles of Conduct, Imputation of Adam's Sin, Epistle to the Romans, and then also Calvin on Scriptures and Divine Sovereignty. There is a life of John Murray, written by Ian Murray. I don't have that. And then, of course, the 4 collected writings of Murray that's up in here. So, I might add that he certainly did not like the Anglican calendar. He hated the idea of Christmas break. Depressed him. Kind of that old Scots bias against the Anglican calendar. But we'll be brotherly toward him and allow him his prejudice. That was his view. We keep the calendar, just like I'm sure he had a syllabus for his systematics courses, just like he's got a table of contents in his books and an agenda in his writing and an outline. A precisionist on a small point. Anyways, we love Prof. Murray. The more I think about it these days, I'm a grandson through Dick Gaffin, and then through another line, Bishop Theophilus Herder. And Theophilus Herder combined godly charity in a way that was very influential for this scribe here. So that ends our tribute to the good and godly Scots Presbyterian, John Murray. Godspeed.